So many comments about Hemisphere Properties. My God, something might be special about the company. Let me check the technical charts. From November to February, oh my God, that's a jump from like 58 rupees to 200 plus rupees. What's so special? Sale. Are they really good? Let me check the sales. What? 5 years back to back zero. Asak kasak kai. Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to another fundamental analysis of Hemisphere Properties Limited. Now, actually, I received so many comments, so many super chats on this same company, so I thought definitely I should make at least a small video giving you an overview of the fundamental analysis of this company. So now let's understand what does the company do. So I can say that there are three basic parts for this company. Number one, I can say that the company mainly focuses on acquiring and preserving that piece of land. Okay. So step number one, what are they going to do? They're going to acquire land. Okay. After acquisition of land, what can they do? Possibility number two, they can develop. Now, develop what? Construct what? They can construct shopping malls. They can use it for constructing buildings, industrial sheds, offices, whatever. There are multiple options, right? But I was going through one of the interviews in which I found out that the management focused on even constructing shopping malls on that piece of land, right? Number three, what can they do? Number three, they can, after the construction is complete, possibility number one, they can sell these plots. I'm sorry, they can sell these buildings, flats, malls, whatever. Possibility number two, they can give it on rent. Possibility number three, they can give it out on lease and collect lease rentals, right? So I hope you have understood this three-part structure. Number one, acquisition of land. Number two, construction. Number three, selling or leasing. Okay. All in all, I hope you have understood that this company is a real estate company. Now that you have understood about the company, let's move on with the economy analysis. Right now, India has emerged as the fastest growing major economy in the world in terms of GDP. And it is expected that in the next 10 to 15 years, we can be amongst the top three economic powers in the world. One more important point is about the V-shaped recovery, and everyone absolutely knows about that. So let's move on with the next point, which is about the FDI inflows. What is FDI? Foreign direct investment. If you compare the FDI inflows, I'm talking about financial year 2019-20 versus financial year 2021. Now, if I'm comparing April to September, you can easily see that there is a 10% increase in FDI as compared to the previous year. One last point which is important is about how much forex reserves we have. Have a look at this chart. Are we somewhere in top 5? Yes, we are currently the 5th largest country in terms of forex reserves. Now let's move ahead with the industry analysis. If you remember just a minute ago roughly I told you that the company does intend to construct shopping malls on their available land bank. You can see here, this chart is about the growth, the number of malls that have been constructed in India in since 2012 to 2018. You can see that the CAGR, compounded annual growth rate, is around 5%. The demand for shopping malls is also apparently going up. We are going to talk about the corona situation and all that in just half a minute, right? But then let's move on to this chart as well. What does this chart show now? This chart shows about the PE and VC investment. What is PE? Private equity. VC, venture capital, right? So in simple words, there are many investors who are wanting to invest more and more in startups, in new companies, who are somewhere giving their contribution to the real estate sector, right? So this has also grown at a CAGR of almost 28% from financial year 2013 to financial year 2019. Now have a look at this chart. Now what does this talk about? This talks about the size of the real estate in India. It's very clearly evident that it is increasing. It is expected to increase in the coming years as well. But now understand 2-3 important points. Did the first wave of corona hit this sector really badly? Answer is yes. Has the second wave of corona hit it in a much worse scenario? I of course don't have data for that, but I think this is common sense. It's logical. Everyone might have seen this general knowledge that real estate is not having a good time right now. Number 3 important point is that if I'm talking about the third wave which might come up, then this sector, I'm not sure how it can really take this entire pressure. Also remember this. Now all these three on a negative side, but also check out the positive side. Understand that these sectors typically are cyclical in nature. Okay, now whenever there is a downfall, it will not be down 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 zero, stop. It will never happen like that. There will be some kind of bottoming out, some or the other time there will be a revival. So this sector has seen pretty bad days for almost 8 to 10 years now. Now how many more bad years to come, that is the only question. 2, 3, 4, whatever, but some point of the time or the other it will go up. So let's expect that this does not go too far, and somewhere or the other this sector sees some revival. Well, you, me, if we all understand that this entire sector is facing some kind of problem, don't you think the government will understand this? Yes. So has government taking any initiatives? And that's what we are going to understand in this section. The very first initiative that they took was building 100 smart cities. The project is still ongoing. Number two, they have agreed to revive around 1,600 stalled housing projects. Now, what is this stalled housing projects? Whenever you're driving through a highway, you might have seen certain constructions which are like 80% complete, 90% complete, but it's just like that for years together. So government has actually approved the setting up of a 25,000 crore rupees of alternate investment fund, which will be used to complete these projects through some way or the other, right? Third point is about the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which will again give a good boost to the sector. One more important point that they came up with is creation of an affordable housing fund. Again, this is also having is going to have a positive impact on the sector. They have approved 423 SEZs, out of which 248 are already in operation. So again, understand all these points. Are they going to give good liquidity to the real estate sector? Yes. Points like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, are they going to create demand in the sector? Yes, right? One last point which is very special, I'm going to read it out for you. It's super important. Please pay attention. SEBI has given an approval for the REIT platform. Not listing of one REIT, they have given an approval for the REIT platform, real estate investment trust platform, which will allow all kinds of investors to invest in the Indian real estate market. So in simple words, what is this? I'll tell you. If you and me, we want to invest in real estate market, in commercial spaces, will we be able to invest in that with comparatively smaller amount? Yes. Through BSc NSE platform, kind of that you can say, but a separate platform which will be dedicated only for REIT. Right now only approval has been received. Okay. What will this lead to? Understand? It will create an opportunity worth 1.25 trillion rupees, which is 19.65 US billion dollars in the Indian market in the coming years. So if you remember, in one of my previous live streams also I had said this. I personally believe that REIT can be a big thing in the coming years. Now let's try and understand a little bit in detail about the company. Well, what had happened back in 2002 was that Government of India, who was holding a stake in VSNL, now which is known as Tata Communications, decided to divest 25% stake in the company. But the government decided that the company, which held almost 773 acres of land, that piece of land will not be considered during this deal. It will be kept outside this deal. Okay, so what happened? 25% of VSNL, in short, was divested. And who bought it? It was bought by a Tata Group company, which is known as Panatone. Okay, then what were they going to do with this land? Then in year 2005, a new company was established like an SPV, and the name of the company was Hemisphere Properties Limited. Okay, the at that time it was decided that whatever piece of land, you remember that 773 acres of land, it was decided that this land will be transferred to Hemisphere Properties Limited. But that was just decided, na? Then court permissions, all that, it'll take time. When did it take place? Well, fast forward almost 13 years. In 2018, finally, the court gave an approval that, okay, yes, now things can go ahead, right? But when in 2020 it was decided that because of this demerger, those whoever are the shareholders of Tata Communications will get shares of Hemisphere Properties Limited in the ratio of 1:1. Okay, so I hope you have understood what all happened right from 2002 till 2020. Finally, this company got listed on the stock exchange in 2020 itself on 22nd October. And who holds shares in this company right now? Right now, the situation is that promoter of the company, main promoter, is the President of India, which is 51.12% stake in the company. Number two, Tata holds 23%. Public, people like you and me, hold 26% of the shares. All in all, I hope you have understood that the company is a government real estate company. Well, now that you understood the journey about the company, let's understand what might be the road ahead for this company. Is the land in the name of the company even today as on date? Answer is no. Then who owns that land? Still VSNL. Now, what are they doing? They are going to pay this stamp duty so that the land can be transferred in the name of Hemisphere Properties. Number one. Have they gotten any approval for payment of stamp duty? Yes, because it's a government company. Ministry of Finance have given them of approval. They have allocated 751 crore rupees for the payment of stamp duty. Out of that, how much has been paid? Till date, 650 crore rupees has been paid as stamp duty. Okay. Now, once all this entire stamp duty has been paid, once the land, they'll receive their land in their own name, then what? They're still in the process of finalizing the options for that. So still we are not 100% sure whether a mall is going to be constructed, or any commercial complexes are going to be constructed, or a residential property. So till now you might be wondering that Rachana has been saying that land aayegi, it'll be transferred in their name. I did talk about even payment of stamp duty, but where is the land and how much is it? So for that, just have a look at this chart. You might understand that in Dighi, that is Pune, the highest land is 524 acres of land, which is in point. Second one is Kolkata, Halishar, 35.19 acres of land. New Delhi at two places, Chhatarpur and Greater Kailash, 58 acres and 70 acres of land. And in Chennai, in Padyanallur, the land in question is 85.94 acres. So ideally, this entire, almost 770 plus acres of land, this is to be transferred to Hemisphere Properties. And now comes the financials part. Khoda pahad nikla chuha. Why? Sales, as I mentioned in the first part of the video, it's absolutely zero. No operation in the company as of now. Okay, you can see very clearly 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, zero sales right now. Why? Are they have still not gotten the land in their name. Sale kahan se hoga? It's a long way to go, right? Second one is about the expenses. You can see a big jump in the expenses from 0.12 crores to 0.88 crores. Now, why this major expenses? Because of the expenses incurred on account of implementation of that court order of the scheme of arrangement and reconstruction. If you can see net profit, of course, profit just can't be there because sales is zero, a lot of expenses leading to a loss of almost 0.76 crores. What's there in the balance sheet? Really speaking, nothing, because you can see here till 19th it is as good as zero. The balance sheet size is just 1.15 crore. It's nothing. If I'm talking about March 2020 balance sheet, at least the balance sheet size has grown to 289.16 crores. Major chunk goes to increase in share capital, 285 crores, and also an increase in fixed asset of 282.10 crores. We also tried to check it in the balance sheet. Out of that, a majority chunk, out of 281 crores, is of almost goodwill only. So that's how the balance sheet is, P&L is, but nothing much happening in these financials right now. And P&L is not that great, balance sheet is not that great, the size of the balance sheet is also very less, then what is attracting the valuation? It's the valuation of land that is getting more and more attention. We have done the valuation as per three methods. The very first one is valuation based on stamp duty valuation, right? How much is that coming to? That is coming up to almost 13,000 crores. The second type of valuation that we have done is as per the circle rate valuation, and that is coming out to almost 21,800 crores. The last type of valuation is based on company estimate. So basically, company had appointed an independent valuer, and as per the independent valuer, the company's land is approximately valuing to 19,000 crore rupees. Now, if I take an average of all these three valuations also, the average is coming out to roughly 17,666 crores. Oh my god, that's the valuation of the land which Hemisphere Properties owns. Okay, till here, now pay attention. Now, if I as an individual investor wants to become the owner of that land, how much I will have to pay? 70,666 crores. Ideally, theoretically, yes. But if I want to become the owner of Hemisphere Properties, how much will I have to pay? I'll have to buy one share or entire shares. Entire shares of Hemisphere Properties multiplied by what? Current market price. Simple. What is their market capital? What is their market capitalization right now? It is coming out closely to 3,700 crores. Now, what does it mean? Theoretically, if I buy out all the shares of Hemisphere Properties, it will cost me around 3,700 crores, and in turn, I'll become an owner of that entire piece of land, which is almost 17,000 crore plus. Are you understanding how heavily undervalued that seems to be? Yes, and that is the reason why it is catching the attention of so many investors. So what's the conclusion? Let's try and highlight few positive points, few negative points. What are on the negative means basically let's understand the risk factors. Number 1, land is yet to be completely transferred in the company's name. Number 2, there are chances that there might be certain litigations, and there are few litigations which are currently going on as well. Number 3, it's land. So there can be encroachments on the land as well. All these three I can say as a little bit of negative points. On the positive side, as I told you right now, market capitalization in comparison with land valuation, it's highly undervalued right now, almost a 0.2 of a price to book value ratio, right? So if I'm talking about this company, all in all, I can say that yes, looks like an undervalued stock, but not from an immediate perspective, 1 or 2 years perspective. If you're thinking from a 10 to 15 years perspective, you might get multi-bagger returns if things go as per plans. So you may consider it as a party fund stock. Those who are new to the channel, I hope you know what is a party fund stock. Invest only that much amount which you are okay even if that is lost. And of course, this is not a stock recommendation as usual. It's just my thought process, my analysis that I've put in forth in front of you. So I hope you have enjoyed this entire video. If you have liked it, share it with your friends. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye.